because one day he'll have a wife who needs him to listen. Not fix, not flee, not fight about who's right, just to listen. And then have an intelligent conversation so they understand they're on the same team, so they could keep building. No. Ooh, that's better, right, babe?
Yeah!
Yeah. She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids.
And everything in between.
If we raise men of God, our daughters will never have to fear. The way we raise our sons determines the world our daughters live in.
Hello, beautiful parents. It is your friend Ildiko Ferenczi, and welcome back to the Entrepreneur and Parents Podcast. If you've been here for a while, you know our heart to build families that lead with faith, love, and legacy. In today's episode, it's one that's been sitting heavy on our community's hearts. And I just thought it was the perfect topic to bring up since it was active in our community. Because as much as we talk about raising leaders, we also have to talk about raising safe men and safe women, of course, but men who stay, who protect, who lead with honor, and who don't run when life gets hard. Because that's been a significant part of the world lately, that men just run when it gets hard. And this isn't coming from a place of perfection. It's coming from a place of passion, prayer, and purpose from all of us in our community. Because I'm raising a son too. And what I'm seeing in the world tells me we do have to do things differently. You agree? Lately, we've been thinking a lot about the world and our son, the way that our sons are growing up in it and how it's affecting them. Truly, everywhere we look, we see stories of broken homes, families divided, men leaving when life gets hard. I'm a part of that. That happened to me growing up. And I'm not here to judge anyone. I've seen enough heartbreak to know that pain doesn't make people evil. It doesn't. It just makes them lost. As a mother, I can't ignore what's happening. I can't. We can't. Because if we stay quiet, if we shrug it off and say, well, boys will be boys, right? That's the saying, boys will be boys. We'll raise another generation that doesn't know how to stay. And that's the whole problem. And that's why in our home, we've decided to raise our son differently. When our son is restless, and that happens, of course, we have boys, we don't always hand him a tablet or a distraction. That's you can't do that. I can't do that, right? Because if my boy learns that a screen can fix boredom, one day he'll believe another woman can fix loneliness. And we really want him to know that boredom isn't a problem to escape. It's okay to be bored. It's an invitation to build something. Something to build now. Give him some blocks. Give him some Legos. Give him something incredible to build. And he'll have that same feeling throughout his life growing up. So we teach him to sit in the feeling, to pray, to create, to do something with his hands, with his brain. In our home, we don't teach our son to run from hard things, okay? I want him to I want to teach him to embrace that feeling. We teach him to finish what he starts. It starts small by finishing a puzzle, perhaps a project. Always, always, always finishing a promise. Don't break a promise. Because those moments build the muscle of endurance. Okay, it's not just running around chasing a ball. There's other types of endurance, correct? I had a brother. I had an incredible brother. I was so excited to see him as a father. He was such an incredible role model for me. You guys know the story about my brother. He was going to be incredible. And it's amazing because I've told my son so many stories about David, about how the mayor would come over just to watch sports with him, to have intellectual conversations. He gave him a politician's card. Okay, my brother was 18. He had a politician's card. But these conversations started when he was 12, 10, 11, and on. He helped my mother build the business. He was an incredible man. And my son and my daughter, they call so many people uncle and auntie when they reach out to them. They've met tons of incredible people. And I said, you don't have to just keep your family. Your family can be extended. It doesn't have to be blood. When you have that bond, those people can be your family too. So my son, I think, and it's a part of his grief where he connects with these incredible people and he calls them uncle, and it helps him heal because he misses his uncle. He never met his uncle, and that's a pain point for him. And we talk about it. We sit down and we talk about it. So again, it starts small. As I said before, finishing a puzzle, a project, and of course a promise, because those moments, as I said, build the muscle of endurance. And one day when life gets harder, that same endurance will hold his marriage together. That's the same endurance that is going to hold marriages together. And that's important because that's your holy covenant. It doesn't matter once you become married and you want to get through those pearly gates, it's how you were in your marriage. That's the truth. Now, one of the biggest reasons so many men feel lost is because they were never included. They were told to be quiet, to stay out of the way, to play their games while the grown-ups handled life. But in our home, we include them, just like my mother included my brother. That's how we grew up. We were included. We knew the goal. We knew the mission. We include our children in conversations, in business, in purpose, just like we were growing up. We let him see the work, the serving, the giving, the building. Even when he's little and he doesn't fully understand, even when he's a baby and he doesn't fully understand, he feels that he's part of something bigger than himself. We have videos of him grabbing boxes, packing product. He could barely walk. He's literally falling 3 times in a row, carrying this big box, but he's all excited because we sold a collectible. And he was always at events with us when we were bettering ourselves. Like, don't let your children think that you're, what is this thing? My mom was always learning. My mother was always learning. She was never embarrassed to say, I want to be around these people because they're so incredibly smart. I'm learning so much from them. Never, ever, ever be ashamed of that. That growth mindset, that's what's going to carry our children through life. I love it. I love learning. I love surrounding myself with people that can help me grow. Doesn't matter what age I am. And my mom till her very last breath was always learning. I'll never forget it. My brother too. If our sons don't feel needed in their homes, if my son won't feel needed in our home, they're going to search for significance in hollow places. I promise you that. We tell him all the time, you're needed, you have a role, and you are part of this family's mission. We are I make sure that he knows it to the core, because belonging builds purpose, and purpose builds men who stay. I want our son to know that his emotions aren't enemies. They're not something to be embarrassed of. They're information. So in our home, we don't say, I don't allow it to say, stop crying, be tough, put a Band-Aid on it. That's not happening in my home. Okay, it's okay to cry, but we need to talk about it. You don't put the Band-Aid on it and seal it up in a jar. You don't. We ask questions in our home. What made you feel that way? What do you need? What do you need right now? How do you think that could have been handled differently? We have a conversation. We encourage conversations, because one day he'll have a wife who needs him to listen, not fix, not flee, not fight about who's right, just to listen and then have an intelligent conversation so they understand they're on the same team, so they could keep building and walking towards heaven. Real strength isn't pretending to be fine. We know you're not fine. We could tell by the way you slam doors or knock things around. Real strength is knowing what to do when you feel. So we teach him to take deep breaths, to pray. Pray, that's the most powerful thing. Write things down. Draw them when you don't know how to write. To come back after he's calm. It's okay to walk out for a moment, but not leave. We tell him you don't have to hide your feelings. You just have to learn to lead them. Learn to lead your feelings. That's emotional intelligence. That's real masculinity. That's the way I want to raise my son. Our sons, they need to see us argue sometimes, because real life has friction. Okay, not everything's going to be perfect. They need to see that. But we also need to let them see the repair. Or if something happens between me and my children, or something was handled in a way where I thought, geesh, that wasn't the way to handle it. I don't hide it. I'm not too proud and hide it. No, we talk about it. I don't like the way that I handled that. I don't like the way that I was acting there. I don't like it. This is what I should have done. And I'm going to do my very best to do better next time, because that wasn't right. We apologize to them. I apologize to them. And we will talk about it till as long as we need to. You need to apologize in front of your children to each other. You don't walk away. You don't ignore it. You don't pretend it never happened. If something happened, you acknowledge it and you talk about it. We show him that love isn't pretending everything's perfect, okay? Because you know something's wrong, and that's toxic. It's choosing each other even when things aren't perfect. We tell him, when something's broken, you don't throw it away. You fix it. And that starts with toys, right? It starts early. You don't want to just throw away your relationship when you grow up. Dang, that's too common. You just walk away, throw it away, find someone new. But you didn't fix yourself. You didn't fix the thing. So it's the same problem, repeating in cycles, right? It's very, 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 very dangerous. I don't want him to grow up thinking that conflict means it's over, because you can fix it. Before you reach for that coffee, consider this. What if the energy boost you're looking for isn't in your cup, but in your cells? I challenge you to swap your morning coffee for Shilajit by Symbiotica. And here's what can happen. No crash, no jitters, just clean, sustained energy, plus mental clarity and trace minerals that our bodies actually need. that are actually starving for, to be honest. This isn't just a supplement. It's an ancient adaptogen sourced from the Himalayas that supports mitochondrial function, stamina, and overall vitality. Your coffee never did that. Okay, let's just be honest. Try it for a week and tell me your body doesn't thank you. Symbiotica's Shilajit is next level wellness, and honestly, you may never go back to drinking coffee. Click the link below down in the bio and get your Shilajit today. I want him to know that sometimes staying is the strongest thing a man can do, and leading and fixing and getting better, becoming your personal best, overcoming things together. Strength isn't walking away from the storm. It's learning how to lead through it. It's learning how to lead through it. It sounds so simple, but sometimes when these little things feel so big and emotional, you just throw it all away. Your children, your wife, vice versa, your husband. And the only way he'll learn that is if he sees it modeled. You could say what you want. They're going to learn what they see. The world tells boys that validation comes from attention. This is the world, like from the likes, from the looks, from the loud achievements. But in your home, in our home, we tell them that validation comes from who you are when no one's watching. Who are you when no one's watching? It's a good question to ask myself. It's a good question to ask yourself. Who are you when nobody's watching? From obedience to God, from effort, from kindness, from consistency, from keeping promises. We celebrate when he's honest, not just when he's impressive. Okay, there's sometimes he has to come to us with a hard, and our daughter too, a hard, I could see it in their eyes, they're nervous, they broke something, and I want to be honest with you, Mommy. I broke that vase over there, or I broke this toy. I know it was a special toy and I really loved it, but I broke it, and I'm so sorry. I don't freak out. I appreciate his honesty. He knew that there was going to be a consequence. She knew there was going to be a consequence, but I reward the honesty. Okay, sometimes I don't see it and I'm like, a little bit. Not that I freak out, but I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh no. And then I have to catch myself, right? Catch yourself. My goodness, but they came to me with honesty. And then you pull it back, as a parent should, and you say, it triggered me for a minute. I got really upset because I know how much you love that, and I don't think it's available anymore, or this was a gift, or whatever it was. I can't think of an exact example right now, but we talked through that. I was a little bit upset. That was something that Grandma gave me, and Grandma's passed away, so I got upset. But listen, I really appreciate your honesty. I really appreciate your honesty. And I know you must have been so scared. I really appreciate your bravery to come to me, to be honest. We praise his integrity more than his performance. If he learns to seek purpose over praise, he'll never need to perform for attention. Remember that. It's our daughters too, because we're raising a leader, not a performer. That's what we all want, right? We want to raise leaders, not performers. A builder, not a boy. How people say, what is it, the man boy or man child? I think there's a song written about it, man child, in our generation. That's not what we want to raise, correct? When I think about raising our son this way, it's not just about him. It's not. It's about all the daughters out there. I was one of them. My daughter's one of those daughters. The little girls who will one day grow up the little girls who will one day grow up praying for a man who's safe. Because when we raise sons who choose to stay, we create a world where daughters can rest. That's what we want, right? We want that feminine energy. We want our wives singing, laughing, giggling, not stressed out, not sick, not broken. Daughters will be safe because we chose to raise our sons differently, to break this toxic gestational curses. That's what my husband and I call them. My goodness. He won't run when his emotions rise. He'll stay grounded like a leader because he learned how to claim and identify what's going on in his emotions, how to calm his storm before he speaks. To calm his storm before he speaks. I always remind Daniel, not so much my husband, but my son, I always remind him, take a breath. I'll pull him aside. I'll say, take a breath. Watch what comes out of your mouth. Be very careful because your sister won't forget. I won't forget. Your future wife won't forget. Be very careful about what you say and how you say it because there's a good chance what you're feeling in this very moment you don't mean, but you can't erase the memory of what comes out of your mouth. Be so careful with your words. And he understands. He understands that words are so powerful, that we become our words. We become our thoughts. Sometimes the thought comes, but you have to control, put a harness on your words to be so careful. You become the words that you say. The power of words. He has a speech on it. He speaks to thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs. I'd like him to speak to some children audiences, but he speaks to some of the most famous entrepreneurs in the world. Power of words. And he won't escape into distractions when life gets hard because he's learned that real strength isn't in avoidance, it's in endurance. It's in endurance. It's not in avoidance. That's real strength. And when she's carrying their baby and when her body is weak or sick, he'll nourish her instead of disappearing. I love that about my brother. He knew how to cook every incredible Hungarian dish, the most nutritious ones. My mom brought him up saying, one day you're going to be making a baby from scratch and your wife might be tired. She might even be really sick during the whole pregnancy and you may have to help nourish her. My brother knew exactly what to cook for us. He's going to hold space for her tears. He's not going to get triggered. He's not going to run away. He's not going to start fighting. He's not going to think it's about him. He's going to hold space for her tears because he will understand, growing up, what gentleness is. He's going to understand what gentleness is and strength. Gentleness and strength. That's what our sons need to watch. Our sons need to watch gentleness and strength coexist in their fathers. Think about that. They need to see that in their mothers, but they need to see it in their fathers. They need to see it in their fathers. If that's missing, that's a problem. It's something we need to work on. If she faces, because here's the thing, we're going to face a lot of things in our life, right? If she faces surgery, loss, she's going to face the loss of a parent or fear, right? He needs to protect her heart, her home, and her security. And he needs to see that by what was modeled for him. The conversations you guys had when he was young. Conversations we had when he was young. What was modeled for our son? That's important. And he won't cheat to get attention or run from conversations. Because he's not getting some attention because she's sick or pregnant or not at her personal best or going through some stuff. He's not going to cheat to get attention. We've had these conversations. He's going to choose to talk. He's going to choose to lead, and he'll choose to stay. That's how we have to raise our sons. He'll mentor. He'll mentor her when she forgets her strength. We all do that sometimes, don't we? Sometimes we lose our strength. And then we pray and we remember who we are. I'll pray with her. Guide her when she's uncertain. That's the Holy Covenant. And of course, as I just said, and pray for her and with her when she's overwhelmed. Nothing more powerful. He'll build not just wealth, but well-being, because he knows legacy isn't what you leave in a will. It's what you leave in the people you love. And when our sons become those kind of men, marriages heal, homes stabilize, and children thrive. Communities strengthen. We can't fix every man in the world, but we, our community, can raise one boy who changes everything for one girl. That's why I'm doing this. That's why we're doing this. Because the way we raise our sons is the way we protect our daughters. And I have a beautiful daughter. And I was a beautiful daughter. I still am a daughter. Again, we can't change every man in the world, but we can raise ours with purpose. And maybe, just maybe, that's how the healing begins. If we start to see stronger men tomorrow. If we want to see stronger men tomorrow, we have to raise more present sons today. It isn't about perfection. It's never about protection. Well, it's about protection too. But it's not about, what was I saying? It's not about perfection. It's about participation. I think participation is the right word. It's about showing up differently, leading with love, and remembering that legacy doesn't start on a stage. It starts in a living room. It's not the big business that perhaps they will build one day. It starts in your very living room. We talk about this all the time in our community. It starts in your living room. Those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful babies of yours. I want to give you a heartfelt thank you for spending this time with me on the Entrepreneur Parent Podcast. If this message touched your heart or gave you something to think about, share it with another parent raising boys or daughters. Again, something to think about. Because when we raise men who stay, we raise families that thrive. The ones that the enemy cannot break. And if you'd like to pour into this next generation, you can support the Entrepreneur Kids Legacy Show through buymeacoffee.com, Entrepreneur Kids. I'll put the link at the bottom. Daniel and Destiny have never missed an episode, and this is their business. This is their mission to connect with other like-minded leaders. And it's honestly, if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. It's called the Entrepreneur Kids Legacy Show. They came up with the idea and decided to commit, and they've been so good at committing. I'm so excited for them. And thank you for all the beautiful messages you guys are are sending them, and thank you for supporting them. We really, truly appreciate it. Your support helps keep spreading their faith leadership and the hope to families all over the world. We've got listeners all over the world. They're top 3 on Apple right now. It's incredible. And they're still on New and Noteworthy for months. That didn't even happen to us. Anyway, until next time, God bless you. I'm Ildiko Ferenczi, reminding you that legacy starts in your living room. Your living room. It was a long night, oh my goodness. Legacy starts in your living room. God bless you. We love you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to the Entrepreneur Parents Podcast. Make sure to subscribe, share, and leave a kind review. And listen, friends, don't forget to ask your children what kind of leader they want to become. If we take action now, we can change the world. Thank you for listening to the show. I'm so glad you can join us for this important message. Don't forget to share with someone you love. And remember, you're raising a generation that can change the world for better. See you next time.
We love you. God bless you soon.
We love you. God bless you. See you soon. My mommy.
My daughter and my amazing son. God bless you. I love you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. See you later. Never goodbye for long.
Goodbye. God bless.